They finally did it. They finally did it. Showtime, my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shogun Zorra and thank you for tuning in. And yes, as you can see in the title, I will talk about the live action One Piece series on Netflix. So yeah, this video will include spoilers. If you haven't watched the show yet, what are you waiting for? It's really good. I can say for now, it's really good. Please watch it and come back later. What I liked about the aspect of the live action is that the live action had 8 episodes, depending on which dub you watch. It had the original anime voice actors for the dub. That is so dope. Example, I watched the live action in 3 different languages. The majority of the live action I watched in English. I want to see the original cast speaking, and it was really good. Also, I watched 2 episodes in Japanese. I wanted to see how it looks like with the original voice actors of the anime, and I really liked it. And I watched 2 episodes in German. If you don't know, I'm from Germany, was born and raised there, now living in the UK. And watching it in German gave me big nostalgia, and the dub in the 2 languages, in Japanese and German, was really good. Personally, I would have wanted to watch all the episodes in German, but for the review and also to see how the characters are, I watch in English. The live action adaptation. The series had 8 episodes and the pacing was good for the most part, I would say. I would give the pacing an 8 out of 10. No, an 8.5 out of 10 in my opinion. The live action almost covered the whole East Blue saga. It covers roughly 95 chapters of the manga and 44 episodes of the anime. Of course, I didn't adapt everything one-to-one or tried it, thank goodness, because it would have been a big disaster like other live action shows. I've seen some people are angry that they didn't follow the story one-to-one, and of course it's impossible. With only 8 episodes, which each episode is roughly an hour long, it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense, and that would have been horrible. And for people who don't watch One Piece or never watch One Piece, see this for the first time, it would be way too confusing. But the main core of the East Blue saga was adapted and captured very well in my opinion. Of course, Oda supervised it and had a lot of involvement with it, so we can be proud of it. I thought personally how they would tackle the live action story and pacing. They would take the episode East Blue saga. So the episode East Blue is recap of the whole East Blue saga, which is roughly 2 hours long, and it would divide it into each individual episode into 8 episodes and work on each episode based on the base of the East Blue saga. I don't know if they did, but this was my thought process of how they would tackle it. Like I mentioned, they captured the core of the story, and of course they stayed true to the characters. And the main change of the story of the East Blue saga is the involvement of Garp. Garp was never seen in the East Blue saga. He was first seen and mentioned in the end of Enies Lobby. I will talk more about Garp characters later. I don't have any problem that they involve Garp that early in the story. That allowed interesting that situation, like when Nami confronts Luffy, why doesn't he mention that his grandpa is a vice admiral, even though that they are pirates? And Nami responds, like his reaction in this situation is of course justified. What I really enjoyed about the live action show is all the references that we got in there. Like example, like seeing Shanks using haki. We saw sort of like Shanks using haki, and we also sort of got the sound of it, like when he used Conqueror's haki. Also, seeing all the characters who attended the death of Gold Rogers, his execution. There we saw Mihawk, young Mihawk, Monkey D. Dragon, young Shanks, and a very interesting, potentially crocodile in the scene. In the scene that should have represent to be crocodile, we saw that they highlighted a tanned woman. The reason why it's interesting, that is the theory that Crocodile was previously a woman. When you look at the chat between Crocodile and Ivankov and Impel Down, it looks like Ivankov knows something that Crocodile doesn't want people to know. The fact that Oda worked really close with the live action team on it could be that Oda is sort of foreshadowing the viewers, the non-anime watchers, and also the anime and manga watcher, foreshadowing that Crocodile was potentially a woman in the past. So yeah, that shows order is really different in type of foreshadowing. Of course, we all knew this. Also, what I really loved is that they for each character focus episode they put their logo, pirate logo on it. The look. Besides the important story of the show, in my opinion, they really absolutely nailed the casting of each character in the show. Everyone matches their anime manga counterparts for the most part, to 99%. I don't really have any problems with that. The live action gives you a feel that you're watching a pirate show. From the architecture, from the characters skin, that reminds me of the Pirate of the Caribbean, which is really great because Pirate of the Caribbean is the most recognized and well-known pirate show film movie of all time. Also, each important location like the Luffy's hometown, the bar, Nami's hometown, the restaurant ship was really brought well translated into live action. Also, of course, I really love that they didn't stick with the same straw hat outfit from episode 1 to the end. Of course, they changed it to make it more appealing for also non-anime watchers, and they took all the clothing based off the technique of the manga, which, example, when you look at the manga covers or color spreads of the manga double pages and something which the character have worn in the manga. Also, the clothing of each character does look like a cosplay, which I really appreciate because that would cheapen the sort of the show and makes it more convincing that they are really wearing it outside. Let's talk about the action. One Piece is of course well known for its crazy good story, but another thing that is also well known, of course, it's its action. Because One Piece action involves a lot of unnatural, supernatural abilities like Luffy Gum power. Everyone was very hesitant on how it will translate into live action, and the live action does the fighting very well. Luffy Gum power, also Devil Fruit power, looks really good, especially when Luffy fought against Arlong. The action scene with Nami, Zoro, Sanji and Usopp were also good. Nami with her staff were amazing. Sanji kicks looks really flamboyant, smooth, and of course Zoro with his swords were really amazing. Unfortunately, Usopp only had his slingshot, but it was fine. I really wish at the end of the Arlong Park fight, Zoro and Sanji had a one-to-one fight with a fisherman, like a fisherman boss, like Usopp and Luffy had in the end of the Arlong Park saga. Besides that, each fight that we got to see throughout the episode 1 to 8 was really good. Now let's talk about the characters. Of course, I won't mention all the characters we saw, just talk about the main Straw Hats, and including Garp, Kobe, and Arlong. Now let's talk about our main character, the character who has to hold the story together, the character who is the most dominant in the show. Monkey D. Luffy. Inaki Godai, I'm sorry for mispronouncing the name. The actor of Luffy did an amazing job of bringing the goofiness and excitement of Luffy to life. He brought most of the comedy in the show and made me most laugh throughout the show. Fun fact, the reason why Inaki Godo was chosen to play Luffy was he made Oda laugh, and that is a really good sign in my opinion. Luffy in the live action has been kept very well from the manga, and it's of course not as stupid or as crazy goofy as in the manga anime, but that was perfectly fine, as the live action should make the character a bit more realistic and was translated well. Luffy also, the actor did a great job with Luffy's facial expression, body language, and everything was on point, and its action fighting was good, so yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. Nami was personally for me my favorite performance. Emily Rudd captured Nami so beautifully well. I feel like she is the most realistic character from the show. Her reaction makes absolutely sense when she found out about Luffy's grandpa. Also loved Nami's dynamic with Zoro was so good. When she said she doesn't have any friends, and she had of course obviously a different objective, but she did care about Zoro, and also she did care about the whole crew, and she counted everyone as a friend. So that was really well done. Nami was in general really well done. Let's talk about one of the most famous character who always gets lost, Zorro. The actor of Zorro, I knew him before the live action. I saw his movie when he debuted as an actor in Kamen Rider Drive summer movie. And the actor, Makene Made, I'm sorry for mispronouncing, did not disappoint at all. He captured Zorro's coolness, seriousness in the live action adaptation very well, and he did a great job. But my only problem I have with Zorro is that his goofiness is not really there. Example, of course he's not as goofy as Luffy. Example, one of his goofiness is, example, his self-direction, which is really bad, was not really there, I would say. And especially that we are in the pre-time skip era of One Piece, which is the most hilarious and fun time that we see with the characters in One Piece, including Zorro, was not really there. I feel like it would have been a great addition to the characters of Zorro in the live action. Also in pre-time skip, in the anime, there's a scene where Luffy's finger got stuck in a bottle and Zorro tries to help him to cut it. This sort of dynamic and goofiness would have been hilarious and great to see in the live action. But besides that, Zorro's performance was really great and they captured it really well. Sanji being the last character introduced of the Straw Hat Pirate is one of my favorite characters. They handled Sanji so good. One of the worries I've seen about Sanji's character was how they would have handled Sanji simping, but they changed it so beautifully. Instead of Sanji being a weird overly simp, he is in the live action a smooth talker, which was handled perfectly. Sanji actor Tezcala did Sanji character justice. Tezcala practiced Sanji kicks and cooking to be as close as possible to Sanji, and that dude was freaking built. Also in the live action, wow, I was quite surprised. Sanji live action version was really great. Loved every bit of him. Now, last but not least, Usopp. Usopp is in the live action was for me personally okay. I feel like his cowardness wasn't presented as well. I feel like they should have over-exaggerated a bit. Next to Luffy, Usopp is the most goofiest character in the show, but his goofiness wasn't really well shown in my opinion. I enjoyed Usopp's life every time. It was hilarious. Every time I thought to myself, just stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Also really loved that he had sort of a one-to-one fight with one of the fishermen bosses. Really loved that. Also one thing that I really appreciate. Really loved that Usopp had a kiss with Kaya. Really wish that also that was in the anime. But yeah, the actor that plays Usopp, Jacob Gibson, did a great job with Usopp. I really just wish they over-exaggerated Usopp's character a bit. I really love that they captured each of the characters' dynamic with each other really well. Example, when Nami tried to listen to the save and Luffy went on top of Nami, also tried to listen to the save, really shows like the characters. Yeah, it really shows that Luffy would have done this also in the anime, in the manga. Also, the constant beef between Zoro and Sanji was perfect. Luffy and Usopp being together a bit goofy. Wish there would have been a bit more. When Nami left the Arlong building and hugged Usopp and Zoro while Sanji waited for her with a big hug and got ignored. All these details made me enjoy watching the crew, and they showed that they studied the characters very well. Garp, like I previously mentioned, I was surprised that they added Garp that early in the story, and I think they did it well. He introduced more of the story and lore and characters to the story. Garp feels more serious in the live action than in the manga anime, and also that I didn't mind. It would have been funny seeing how Garp would have sort of trained Luffy as a kid. Really enjoyed that Garp showed in his own way how he cared about Luffy and making sure that he is ready for the world. The actor Vincent Regan did a superb job with Garp. Kobe. While in the original story, manga and anime, Kobe was only very short to see in the East Blue, but it makes sense that we got to see more of Kobe because we know from the anime and manga that Kobe is being trained by Gab, and I enjoyed that we got to see more of him. The live action writers really understood Kobe characters and emphasized it really well. Kobe wants to be a Marine but learns that not all the Marines are good people. He thinks all the pirates are bad, but through Luffy he learns that all depends on the person. So he learns that it is not directly about the rules, but about the code. We never really got to see that in the anime and manga, which I really liked. Morgan David, who plays Kobe, did a fabulous job of playing a timid and goody two-shoe character. His dynamic with Ozu Helmeppo was really good illustrated. And last but not least, our main villain, Arlong. Now about Arlong, he was perfect, along with the Fishman. Arlong was strong, menacing and brutal. McKinley Bachelor III did an amazing job playing Arlong, so I don't really have anything to add. Of course we have more characters, but I don't want to focus on every character. But of course the characters like Mihawk, Shanks and Buggy were great. If I would focus on them, then the video would go way too long. The music was okay. It didn't really stood out to me that much personally. The music had a pirate vibe which elevated the show, which I really appreciated. But what I enjoyed that they made a remix soundtrack of the first opening of One Piece. Also the ending song of episode 8, My Sails Are Set by Sanya Belosoa and Jonah Ostinelli is really beautiful. Sorry for mispronouncing the name. Yeah, I want to talk about also what makes One Piece live action so great, so good. Why is it a success compared to other live action? The One Piece live action show breaks, of course, the curse that anime live action can be good and they are not always that bad. We had multiple live action throughout the years, for example like Death Note, Dragon Ball, Bleach, and others. But what made One Piece succeed while the others didn't? First of all, in my opinion, One Piece live action had a whole show, 8 episodes, which is with each episode being 1 hour long, while others had a movie, just a single movie. It's impossible to fit the whole anime narrative in one movie, while the One Piece live action had way more screen time of roughly 8 hours and didn't try to adapt everything, just a small portion. We had a Bleach live action movie which was really good, but they had to make drastic changes to fit the whole substitution Shinigami arc into one movie, which is kind of unfair. If they would have potentially had 8 episodes, then they would have done justice. While One Piece live action stayed true as possible to the source material, the Dragon Ball live action didn't stick to it at all and made a weird movie completely different. So yeah, it was a big disappointment. The characters in the Death Note live action were also very different, and I thought personally Death Note from all the animes that could be potentially become a live action had the biggest potential, but they fumbled it, and it's really sad. Compared to the other live action, Oda, the creator of One Piece, was heavily involved in it, while the other creators were not involved. So that really shows. But for my knowledge, there are good live action adaptations. If you look there in the Japanese live action version of specific anime, I've heard they are good. I've not personally watched it, but I've heard they are good. Example, there are also good live action webtoons. Example, in K-drama, a lot of K-drama are based off webtoons live action. So yeah, and also the difference is the live action K-drama are not only movies, they are shows like almost like 12 episodes, with each episode being 1 hour long. If Death Note, example, Death Note had 37 episodes in anime. They could, in 12 episodes, in live action 12 episodes, with 1 episode being each 1 hour long, they could have potentially fully fit the whole anime perfectly being adapt the show. But yeah, if you try to do it as a movie, it won't work. Yeah, this was my rant about the live action, why the One Piece live action succeeds in this area, why the other live action anime didn't. But yeah, we will definitely see more of a One Piece with the with the success I've seen. Yeah, and personally, I love the live action. I would love to see more. I want to see the Alabasta arc next. So yeah, potentially we get to see the Alabasta arc maybe in 3 years. Probably in the first and half years we'll have breaks, and potentially in 2 years afterwards I would probably see starting to do the production, everything, and I could imagine like in the 3 to 4 years we get the Alabasta arc animated. So it makes sense because all the characters, One Piece is a long series, and all the characters are young, so we have to capitalize on that. Yeah, that's it for my review of the One Piece live action. I really enjoyed it. I want to see more, and probably I really hope that we get to see more. Of course, they also foreshadowed, teased Captain Smoker, so I want to see more big other characters, and we get introduced. So hopefully I could see myself see that we, for example, get in the next 3-4 years we get Alabasta. Afterward 3 years we get to Skypiea. Then we get, probably they will skip a few things, but then we get to Enies Lobby. And Enies Lobby, there was the biggest heist of One Piece. So probably I could see it in potentially 10 to 10, between 10 years. So now in 10 years we get Alabasta, Skypiea, and Enies Lobby all together. That would be very, very beautiful. But yeah, that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Write down what's your favorite thing about the One Piece live action. Please share to all your friends, and stay tuned for other videos and help me to get 1,000 subscribers. If you like, shine bright. My name is Shogun Zorra, and peace.